Well, we're packing for Land Between the Lakes. So got the truck bed washed out, got the carry-all put on, got my big traveling totes in there ready to go. Got the deer cart because you can't have side-by-sides or nothing there. Got mine and Garrett's stand loaded. There will be multiple trucks going. We got drawed and we're allowed 2 deer. I think it's 2 does or a doe and a buck. It goes with state regulations. So hard to be a fun trip. The weather's supposed to be so-so. It's supposed to start raining tonight. That's why the stands are covered with trash bags. We leave at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, 5-hour trip up, grab our tags and go scout our areas. So one guy has fell off. Big Tom is not going to be going. He has come down with a really pretty bad illness, so he's not going to be able to go this time. But as of right now, me, Daddy-O, Greg, Garrett, Harley, Hayden, Hunter, and Eugene and Kenny, and we've got an Airbnb to stay in while we're there. So we're going to finish packing this up. Oh, I got to get my gun. I ain't got my gun in there yet. And get all that in, make sure we're stowed away and everything's good. So I want to shoot a little bit of this video before we leave in the morning. So we'll get some travel footage and get up there. Deer are chasing here, so they should be chasing there. So y'all stay tuned. We're going to get cracking. Get this stuff loaded and go to LBL. Take old Blackie. Well, we finally all made it to the gas station. We're taking my truck. We got Hunter here, Hayden's truck, Daddy-O, Garrett, Harley, Hunter, Hayden, and Greg. Sorry, looking at it backwards, can't tell who's who. But we're gonna meet up with KP and Eugene. So we got a somewhat like a 4-hour drive. So we'll get some footage on the way. Got us a little bit here. We're gonna try to get us something to eat, probably somewhere up past Nashville in Kentucky. We got our permits, our guns, and our orange. That's about all we need. So we're ready to go. Well, we've made it. Made pretty good time too. Had some bad weather coming up through Nashville, but we're good to go. Just got all our permits. We're all covered. We're gonna head to the area that we normally hunt, and then we're got to go scout a few more areas because there is a lot of hunters over here this year. But we didn't see any deer coming in. Weather's gonna be right. Gonna be cold mornings. Should be good. So let's get to scouting. We're set up. We finally made it back in here. We got our spot we wanted. Not much deer sign at all this year. A little bit on the end of this ridge, but nothing major. Not sure what's going on here, but everybody we've talked to haven't seen no sign either. But we've killed out here before. We've took several deer out of here. So Garrett is to my right, about 75 yards facing down in the valley. And Greg is probably 75 yards straight behind me, looking the opposite direction. And I'm covering this ridge and valley, so hopefully people get to pushing some deer around. It's 3 does a day and 1 buck for the entire weekend. So I don't think we're going to be really picky on does. We'll see if a good buck comes through, but should be interesting morning. Hopefully we're going to see something this weekend. Somebody get something. Surely somebody will. Well, it's getting on up in the morning and we ain't seen a single deer. So, heard very few shots. Greg says he heard a bunch of shots, but it must be the side of the ridge he's on because I didn't hear any. But I'm getting old and I'm deaf too. But Garrett ain't 50 yards from me, so I think we're going to have to spread out and find something. So, plan is I'm going to leave the climber here. I think we're all three going to leave our climbers. I've got to pick another tree. This tree's too big. I like to never cut up it. But I might go somewhere and sit on the ground tonight and find an observation set to see if I can see some deer and hunt this again in the morning. So, either way, we'll see what happens. And I don't know how much videoing I'm going to do because this camera gear is heavy with this climber. So you might just get to see the after effects. But either way, we've had fun and we're going to pack it up and ease out of here.
Hey, this one's smaller than the last one I shot out here.
Hey. It's browns down.
All right, so after sitting all day and not seeing anything but squirrels, where I would say I went to the same spot I have for the last 2 years, and this is probably the 4th deer I've seen in that exact same spot, but I decided to move the climber today and get a little bit better of an angle for it, which kind of hurt me on this one. I couldn't see where she was walking at all, but basically it was like 420, I think, and I'm just scanning left to right, and I see the tail flicker, so I've got my gun on my lap, flipped the other way, so once I get it up and get her in the sight, I just see her tail flickering as she's walking away, so she took like 2 steps and I couldn't see her anymore. But I sat there for a minute, probably about 10-15 minutes waiting for her, because she walked behind a thicket and I thought she was just going to pop down on the bottom side of the ridge out of it. So I was just waiting and looking for her. And I kept hearing a lot of stuff behind me, so I was like, well, I don't want to be too attached to this one if something else is closer. So I started looking around, and I turned around and I seen Greg was on the ground, and I was like, what's he doing? I was like, did he see it too? So he was a good 80 yards away from me, so he couldn't really see me, but I was motioning, and I was like, that was that close. And I pointed where it was, and Greg hit the can call for me. I don't know if that got her to turn around or not, but she definitely turned around and started walking towards Greg.
Yeah,
so.
for sure.
But as soon as she stepped back out, it was probably 40 yards closer to me. I'd say she was about 60, 65 when I shot, but she was turned, walking towards Greg. If I was looking at her, she was pointing left. And by the time I got my gun back up, as she was turning right, as soon as her vitals showed, I was ready to shoot something. I let it go. But she dropped right there. It wasn't really a tracking job. It was more just getting down and figure out where we were. But yeah, then just drug her out. Heard that Harley got 2.
All right, Mr. Harley. Congratulations, Garrett.
Thank you.
Hey, Greg, good calling.
Yeah.
Well, this afternoon was pretty eventful. I chose a total different new area, somewhere that I hunted probably 4 years ago. And something kept telling me to come back here. And so I walked all the way back here, and there's a cemetery. It's an older cemetery. It's to our left here. But anyway, I walked past it a little bit, and I spooked up a doe, and she ran probably 100 yards out in the woods. So I just walked in the woods with her, and she turned broadside, and I shot at her and missed. And when I missed, I was kind of discouraged, but walked down the hill just another 50 or 60 yards, and I sat down on a game trail. And about an hour later, I seen one of these does come walking up the hill, and she turned broadside, and I shot her, and she ran about 60 yards and fell over. And then I FaceTimed my fiance, and I told her what happened, and there was another one that popped up right beside it. And I set the phone up on a tree, and I told her just to hang on just a second. I shot the second one, and it ran about 40 yards and fell. But I actually blew its back leg off instead of actually hitting the vitals. And I was able to get up a follow-up shot on her, and she didn't move a muscle after that one.
Heck yeah. Sorry we didn't have no recovery footage, but by the time I got from where I was at, I didn't even know Garrett had shot. And him and Greg were together. So we drug it out to, how far back there you said it is? 200 or 300 yards. We drug it 200 or 300 yards, didn't have a camera with me. So then we get over here to Harley. We had to drive to a different place. And it took a village to get these out. So we got these two out. So there wasn't no recovery footage. There's actually no impact footage, but who knows? We'll see what happens, because this is the most deer we've seen all for the whole trip. So y'all stay tuned. Hopefully we'll have more tomorrow.
We're back at it. We're only going to hunt tonight, go home in the morning. So, I'm actually hunting on the ground, as you can tell. Garrett's up above me. We didn't bring our climbers back. So, me and Garrett is at the normal spot that we've been hunting. Me and Greg hunted this morning. Him and Garrett hunted yesterday afternoon. Garrett killed down here. So, Greg has chose to go with Harley to a different area of our area. So anyway, I'm hunting the bottom that hopefully catch deer coming in out of these thickets, and Garrett's hunting up at a high point, so fingers crossed. We ain't seen as many deer as we normally do, and ain't seen as much sign. Every point we're here, nobody else is either. So we're gonna sit down, get quiet, get comfortable. Hopefully we'll have a deer come through.
Dang.
Well, me and Daddy-O's headed back. It's a different kind of LBL video than what you're used to. Last year we got a lot more footage. LBL was different this time. I don't know. We were in the middle of it last time. Had a ton of bucks or a ton of sign. I don't know. But this time was just there wasn't much scrapes and rubs. Wasn't a lot of sign. About everybody that I talked to, they wasn't seeing a whole lot either. Much more than what we were seeing. Harley ended up getting 2. Garrett got 1. He got a doe. That's Harley's first deer ever killed in LBL, and he's been up here 6 or 7 times, so it's a good weekend for Harley. Me, Daddy-O, Greg, and KP, Hunter, and Hayden, we didn't, or no, Harley did. But the rest of us didn't get anything. Eugene got 1, Eugene. But we're looking forward to the next trip. I did pass on a 6-pointer, as y'all seen in that one part of this video. I didn't do an outro to it, but and we hunted together. Me and Garrett got to hunt together last night. So one thing I would like to say is I couldn't believe how many people I run into that watch the channel, and it was really good talking to y'all in the woods and at the gas stations, and
you know, at the places we was eating, people come up and recognize who we was and stuff. So it just shows Pine Life gets a long ways out. Appreciate all of you. It's 28,300 something subscribers. It still keeps going up. Thank y'all for everything. But we're headed back right now. Muzzleloader's still open in Tennessee. I'm gonna get after them. Kimberly's pretty fired up. Bucks are chasing does here. Most of them are little bucks, but I'm sure somebody's going to get a good in an upcoming episode. So we're going to put these rifles up for a week, muzzle load, move a few stands around, and then we're going to get back after the rifle again. So be watching for the next Pine Life video. Like I said, I appreciate it. Thank y'all for watching, and as always, God bless. See you